Pamela Smart was young, pretty, and seemed to have it all: a loving husband, a nice job as a high school media coordinator, and a bright future. But behind closed doors, her life was about to spark one of the most shocking murder conspiracies the small town of Derry, New Hampshire, had ever seen. While working at the local high school, Pamela started a secret affair with Billy Flynn, a 15-year-old student. She told Billy her husband, Greg Smart, was holding her back, and there was only one way to be together forever. On May 1, 1990, Billy Flynn and 3 of his teenage friends broke into the Smarts' condo. While Greg begged for his life, Billy pulled the trigger. Pamela claimed she had nothing to do with it, but soon, Billy cracked under pressure. In court, Billy and his friends testified that Pamela was the mastermind. She'd manipulated them with sex, secrets, and promises of a new life. The jury believed them. Pamela Smart was sentenced to life in prison, no chance of parole, while Billy and the others served time and were eventually freed. Pamela Smart's case became the first televised trial of the century, inspiring books, TV shows, and even the dark comedy To Die For starring Nicole Kidman. To this day, Pamela says she's innocent, but the world still asks, was she a cold-blooded manipulator, or a victim of media frenzy? It was November 29, 2006, when Keon Pittman came home to his quiet Mississippi house, and found his fiancée, Avis Banks, lying in a pool of blood in the garage. She'd been stabbed multiple times and shot execution style. Avis was 5 months pregnant, and the baby was due in just weeks. So who would kill a pregnant woman on the brink of a new life? The answer stunned everyone. Carla Hughes, a respected middle school teacher, was secretly having an affair with Keon Pittman. Carla wanted Avis out of the picture, permanently. Investigators discovered Carla had borrowed her cousin's gun and gloves. They found her DNA near the crime scene. Prosecutors argued that Carla showed up at Avis's home, ambushed her in the garage, shot her, and stabbed her to make sure she was dead. Carla claimed she was innocent, but the evidence spoke louder. In 2009, a jury found her guilty of capital murder, for killing both Avis and her unborn child. Carla Hughes was sentenced to life in prison without parole. It was January 15, 1989. Betty Jean Solomon, a 40-year-old mother and wife, was found shot to death in her suburban New York home. Her husband, Paul Solomon, said he came home to find her lifeless, but who would want Betty Jean dead? Police soon discovered Paul Solomon, a popular high school teacher, was having an affair with Carolyn Warmus, a glamorous 25-year-old teacher at the same school. Carolyn fell hard for Paul, but he refused to leave his wife. Prosecutors claimed Carolyn bought a .25 caliber handgun through an ex-boyfriend, slipped into the Solomons' house, and shot Betty Jean 9 times. The motive? Eliminate the wife standing between her and Paul. Carolyn's first trial in 1991 ended in a hung jury. But at her second trial in 1992, a key piece of evidence sealed her fate: a black glove found near the crime scene and phone records tying her to the murder. Carolyn was convicted of second-degree murder and illegal gun possession, and sentenced to 25 years to life. After spending 27 years in prison, Carolyn Warmus was granted parole in 2019. She still claims she was framed, and some believe the real killer might be Paul Solomon himself. The case remains one of America's most debated true crime love triangles. In May 2004, police in Novi, Michigan, arrived at a quiet home and found a scene straight out of a horror movie. Robert Seaman, a retired engineer, was dead in the garage, stabbed and hacked dozens of times. The suspect shocked everyone: Nancy Seaman, a respected elementary school teacher, PTA mom, and devoted wife of 31 years. Her students called her Mrs. Seaman, the sweet teacher. But prosecutors would soon paint her as a calculating murderer. Nancy admitted to killing Robert, but claimed it was self-defense. She said years of abuse pushed her to the breaking point when Robert attacked her with a knife, so she fought back with a hatchet she'd recently bought at Home Depot. But investigators didn't buy it. They argued Nancy planned the murder, pointing to receipts showing she bought the hatchet days earlier, plus evidence she cleaned up the crime scene and hid Robert's body. To them, it was murder for freedom and money.